Thanks. Our first order, we'll call the meeting to order at 10:13, and our first order of business will to take attendance. Please, since
I can just call everybody.
please do call everyone roll call. Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa Watson. Here. Eric.
Here.
And here, right?
Yep.
And Rod is out and Jackie Burns is out, and then Mike Adams is also not here.
Robinson's here.
You do that.
We do have a quorum.
Having established a quorum, we can move on to our first agenda item.
Which is pretty much just the charter review.
Which is continue the charter review, and we're talking about council compensation, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Should
can bring that up since
Should
Amanda's
we
here.
enter the email between Mike Adams and I and Lisa into the record? Because we had a conversation offline out of meeting about some drafting issues.
I can pull that up.
I feel that should be that should be part of the public meeting to go over that.
Okay, I can pull that up. And in the meantime, we do have Amanda Carey, our finance director, to kind of help with that discussion.
Oh, good. Hi, Amanda.
So where is it gonna be in? Is it gonna be in city council or?
I did put it in here somewhere and don't know where I put it at. Under form of government. What page is that?
Page 4, 13. Yeah. Second paragraph from the bottom, compensation.
Oh, no, that's there, right?
3.11.
Okay, so one thing I would add to that 3.11 is it says the council member should be paid compensation of blank each month and the mayor shall be paid. We need to have in between that city council president too. Because
Did we say we're gonna do 3 tiers or?
it kind of needs to be 3 tiers because you got the mayor that does all his duties here and then you've got city council president. So when Rod's not here, she steps in and does all his duties.
You know, and I agree with that. I just
Yeah.
can't remember where we landed on, if we were gonna do the 3 tiers or.
Would that be just for the time she has to step up, or would that be a
Ooh.
forever thing?
She is constantly the city council president until we elect a new one.
The one thing, though, if I might refer to the charter, currently, I mean, what duty specifically are you talking about? Because by the charter, the mayor technically doesn't really have any duties outside of presiding
Mhm.
officer for the council. The other duties that you might be talking about where he goes to all these meetings and such, whether it's the state or representing as a liaison, those have been decisions that our current mayor is making.
Right.
However, the mayor is the public face and he is the proclamator of the city.
Yeah, and so, and the council president, I mean, I guess we need to discuss what capacity and what we're compensating.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. I don't know if it's appropriate at this time.
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's open meeting. We don't have to.
So just from the financial side, what I've seen work well in the past, I've worked with other board of directors and other committees, councils that were compensated. And both for ease of administration and also, I think it's equitable for your participation. I prefer and kind of like how it works when they're paid a stipend per meeting. So that way, like there's a flat amount they get for every council meeting they attend. And then we can have if you wanted compensation for these outside committees and the things that the mayor attends, that kind of thing, we could either have like a flat daily amount or an hourly amount. But I don't know how, like the outside stuff, but for the internal, for the council meetings, if everyone got like $100 a month, 150 a month per meeting that they attend, that's.
I don't know about adding pay for all the side stuff, like what I do the CWAC, I wouldn't want to get paid for that because I volunteered for that part itself. Actually, it's not a requirement of being on city council. So I wouldn't say that we'd wanna add that in there because I don't think
Yeah,
the
you're
voters.
into
would
a
like that.
gray area, and then you
Yeah.
could even see counselors like
Taking advantage of
going
it.
and taking on more in order to receive
Yeah.
more compensation.
Yeah.
So I think the compensation, personally, I think it should be regulated to what happens, yes.
I agree.
Exactly, because that's what you're,
It's their main purpose.
Well, and that's what the city.
exactly, and
That's
if you
what
wanna go on
people are
above
gonna
and
see.
beyond, good for you, you do it for recognition or goodness of your heart type thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think, yeah, for-
Amount would be. to
I
me,
think what Ann said would be a good idea too, as far as city council president, is that maybe if she gets a bump, she or he gets a bump would be only when she or he is taking over the mayor's responsibilities for that meeting itself. Instead of constantly, because so far Kim hasn't had to run any meetings outside of maybe like 10 or 15 minutes until the mayor got here, that I know of. So,
And
Well,
we,
then you have those instances, are you gonna split the cost?
I would say, yeah, that's getting.
it would have to be to run a full meeting.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the weeds like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It should be.
Yeah, no, I would think that it would need to be something for, you'd need to run the full meeting and the mayor's not gonna be here like today. If this is a city council meeting and somebody was
And he's
the.
like, physically out of
Yeah,
town,
and
we
not
know he's not gonna
zooming in.
roll in, yeah, exactly.
Cause you can still Zoom and be considered at the meeting because we have council members that have to do work and Zoom, like, well, David Robinson is working and doing this Zoom. So as long as you're zooming in, then that's, to me, my humble opinion is that's attendance.
Yeah,
As long
yeah.
as you're there.
Yeah, we sat there and we went over the whole attendance thing, right, but, so this might be a really stupid question, but
It's only stupid if you don't ask it.
it's per meeting, and so if you don't show up to a meeting, you don't zoom in, you don't receive.
So then if you have counselors that never attend, why would we be paying them if they're
Okay.
not showing up?
Okay.
I think that's kind of the way what Doug had said that they were doing with like union is they had a set amount, but if you didn't show up for meeting, it got reduced.
See, I'd rather not reduce it.
Right.
Because then we're
Just
having
need
to
to
back
pay.
out. We just-
That's what I meant. It got reduced from what your total would be. And it's essentially the same thing. If you show up for all your meetings and just for argument's sake, it's $100 a meeting,
Yeah.
your monthly sum would be 300, but if you don't show up one, it's reduced down to
Yeah.
200 and then 100 and then no 100. Yeah,
And then, so when it comes to the mayor, though, that's like, because so it says in the compensation that compensation of blank each month. And the mayor shall be compensation of blank. So is that like determined on his absences as well,
I
or?
would say we would change that language and not have it listed as each month. I would list it as, per meeting.
For each meeting attendance, so it even, that even applies to the mayor, correct?
but I would think if we put down each meeting, some wordage needs to be put in that it's not getting paid every week, that it's gonna be a one-time payment at the end of the month or what have you. That way people don't think, okay, well, I'm supposed to get paid weekly. Why are you not paying me weekly? There's a breach of contract there.
No.
And we don't want that.
But again, just.
My question is do you keep it general?
Yeah, I guess-
Meeting, or do you keep it like per business meeting? Because
Yeah.
what is considered a meeting? Is this considered a meeting?
Yeah.
Because it's
council
an
meeting.
extension of council and it's a public meeting.
Yeah.
So is this a paid meeting then? Or are we talking about business?
I would think
meeting?
probably-
I was thinking it was
business.
just your regular council meeting.
Regular council business meetings, because like when we did that barbecue thing, it wasn't necessarily a meeting, but it was a get together of all council, and that should not be paid. I mean, we were paid with good food if you showed up, but no, I would think it would need to be like business meetings where we've actually got business on the schedule.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, not for just some,
Conducting city business.
yeah, open houses wouldn't be paid, stuff like that. That's not really a meeting.
Well,
That's
actually,
just-
open houses would be, because if you're acting in the capacity of the council and say you have a town hall,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
still a business.
I
Yeah,
guess.
So a meeting is a meeting, it just has a different general practice and a different name. So you have a regular business meeting, which you have 3 times a month or 2 times a month, and then you have a work session, which you're still conducting business. Sometimes, most oftentimes, in a work session, there aren't any decisions made. However, it doesn't prevent councils from having those.
And here's another question. I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate here.
Wing it.
if you do two meetings in the night, i.e. executive session and a business, is that two meetings or one?
No, that's just one.
I think
So
we need
be
to
careful
clearly
Yeah.
define
Yeah.
what a meeting is in the language, if we're gonna say. per
For
meeting,
one
which I
single
agree
day
Should be, or per day.
on any given, meetings on any given day.
And then
Like,
we
he's on
also,
the phone.
On the phone.
Yeah.
and then we also probably
Say that's,
want
that'd be good for him to weigh in on.
talk about making it specific to city council, because the council can operate as other boards such as
Yeah.
the urban renewal
Yeah.
agency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the city doesn't want to be paying them also, right?
So we could do like some bullet points underneath, the city council will be compensated for these kind of meetings, and not for these,
Just extracurricular, anything extracurricular.
So what about on days where we don't have a council meeting, but we have a URA meeting?
And wouldn't if they're not operating as the city, if.
If we're not paying,
Yeah.
URA would have to pass its own.
Yeah, because URA, we're not city council, we're called
Your
directors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's totally different than city council.
Yes.
URA is urban renewal agency.
Oh,
We're board of directors instead of city council members. So it's a total different
But
entity.
there's like, there's bleed over in the sense of like, at the budget,
Yes, they would
the
run-
URA went first. And then the city went and everybody just kind of still stayed in the room because
Yeah.
there was so many crossover between the
Well, the-
counselors turn onto the board.
The URA is all city council members.
Yeah.
Well, and technically speaking, budget committee, they aren't city council members. They shouldn't be called city council members. They are actually budget committee members.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I guess I was just using that as an example of
Yeah.
like, when I physically saw it, I came here and I was like, it's all the same people,
Yeah, the URA and city council is identical. We're all members. When you join city council, you're automatically in the URA. And you changed over from city council to board members,
Good on you.
board of directors. Yep.
Yeah.
And in my entire time being on city council, Rod has remembered to call us all directors once. That's usually.
So I have another question, when it comes to, and this may be not as important, but when it comes to keeping track of attendance and who is at the meetings and who is getting paid. Please.
It's gonna fall back to staff.
Well, because we do roll call every time we start up. There's always a roll call and you can look back on the minutes and see who was in attendance and who was not by roll call.
Procedural internally, we'll address that.
Okay, and so that would just be an additional thing that would have to be kind of,
Cause we'll have to
track it. Yeah.
Turn into accounting to get a check permit, so that'll all be just like an internal procedure.
and then what about I zoom in at the last 10 minutes of the meeting? Am I present or does that count?
No,
Or
You
do
gotta
we
be there.
want to have a cutoff or like, what constitutes an absence? Because
I think
like,
you need to be there for at least half the meeting.
I would say that too. I would imagine that you need to, or at least have like a
I
legitimate,
think you guys are getting into the weeds as far as policy on the meeting. As far as meeting decorum and meeting, our meeting standards. I think we just need to establish the base here. If we're getting into. I think we just need to work more on defining. What they're getting paid for and specific as possible. But general too. It's hard to say because, but on the same thing, we gotta make sure that. We're clear on what they're
Right.
getting paid for.
Well, this is murky water, so to speak. We've not.
Can we, would it be possible to put like a little statement in here as far as the weeds go, just saying by resolution or whatever, that a policy will be, approved by the council or something, because then they can work on those details and they can include it in their rules where it gets to decorum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the statement that we use throughout, subject to council rules or pursuant to council rules, things along those
Yeah.
lines.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we came up with a general consensus. We just need to figure out the correct language of compensation will be for city business. So now are we on to actual numbers? Have we gotten, do we have any idea or? Cause what about the draft language, that email that David was talking about between him and Mike? Have we?
That one was actually for position numbers.
Oh.
Is there a different one, David, that you were thinking of?
Let me forward it to you. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. Mike sent one.
I think I saw one too from Mike, and it was like compensation language, I think.
I'm a failure. I haven't opened up my computer in like a week because I know we don't have a meeting today or tomorrow. Am I gonna have a meeting? I'm not trying
Draft
to.
compensation language.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it does
got
look
it.
like Mike sent that to all of us.
Yeah, and that's the language that's in the,
Right after
that's the language that's in the charter.
Draft.
Yeah,
Is there a thing?
Is
That's
it?
actually, yeah, that's actually copied and pasted verbatim on page 4. Yeah.
Is there somewhere in here that you put for positions?
Yes, and we can get to that after we're done with. I
the,
don't wanna sidetrack.
Okay.
the
At
one
least
thing
I
goes,
forwarded you the email thread.
the one thing too is the declare a potential conflict of interest and vote when referring to this. Oh, that's outside of language. Sorry, excuse me.
What the hell's going on here?
There's no excuse.
So,
If we're gonna include the each month, should we include because it says the counselors shall be paid compensation of blank each month, and the mayor shall be paid compensation of blank.
No, we're getting rid of month and doing week.
We-
Yeah, we're switching it from month to week.
I thought it was business meeting.
Business meeting.
Or business meeting, sorry, sorry.
So compensation of blank and the mayor should be paid which we may be fine for each meeting attended.
Yeah, because we need to have that in there.
So we just take out each month
Yeah.
because it's covered in for each meeting attended.
yeah, I rewrote that for Mike.
Oh, did you?
That whole
Okay.
section. I did.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have replied all. I didn't realize everyone else was on the email list.
Are you bringing that up on the screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I just wanna make sure that I don't have my other emails.
The reason I rewrote it is what I think I told the Mike is that there are too many commas in that first sentence
Yeah.
and too many ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to read like that.
No, no, I'm not.
Takes me a couple of times, you know.
No, I want like sixth grade reading comprehension. I want the thumbs up from Microsoft Word.
So that's,
That pretty much what's.
yeah, that's
That's it.
I think that's the suggested and then.
That's almost what it says on the draft here.
That is, it is it, right? The conversation, right?
So I think so talking about run-on sentences, I think it should just
Oh.
be a period.
That's Mike's. Well, that's
Yeah, I was
Mike's.
about
That's
to say,
not
that's
mine.
Mike's, yeah, I think you need
Mike.
to.
Mine's lower.
Oh, lower.
It's in the response.
There's nothing in the response, David.
Oh, imagine that. Huh. What did I just forward to you?
I have no idea. But this is all that's in there.
Well, let me try this forward again and we'll see what happens. Sorry,
No, that's okay.
we could have just had me screen share. I could have just popped this
Yeah,
up.
you can. You should be able to.
Yeah, I'll give it to you because I think it's important that this be part of the record because these
Well-
are all public meetings.
Well,
And
go ahead and
we're having,
share.
we're
Share
having
from your screen
conversations.
and then share from your screen and send it to me later.
Oh, I just sent it to you now.
Okay. Fine. I ever said thank you for that forum, but that was very helpful. I still get confused by it, but I'm sorry.
No,
That's a chicken.
That's a chicken?
All hates. And his wife's Rita.
I'm gonna ask you, Rita Wilson.
She's the golden black one. Cause the dog killed the rooster in the golden black and killed the hen in the white and black, so we have the opposing husband and wife. For now, they may get a divorce later.
Yeah.
Still early on in their marriage.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, I saw that, so let's see, it's.
Is that too small still?
Yeah, zoom
A
in.
little bit.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Some ideas, should be compensation of, when we say we're gonna remove each month.
I couldn't quite hear. There's a lot of voices. Why are we getting rid of each month?
Because we were gonna say that,
Each business meeting that attended.
instead
That's
of,
when you were on the phone. And so Amanda's comment was that if they're paid every month, there's they can just not show up and still get paid automatically.
Okay.
So by having them compensated per meeting, then it's an incentive for them to actually show up.
They actually have to do their job.
so we could change your sentence from shall be, the counselor shall be paid compensation of blank and the mayor shall be compensated of blank for each meeting attended.
Oh, yeah,
or-
I guess. And you don't want to base the mayor's compensation on attendance because the mayor does so many other things. So maybe we need a mayor paragraph and a council paragraph.
Yeah, see, that's what I would.
It might be better that we just split two separate, that way you read it on the mayor and.
Make sure it's really spelled out clearly. Mayor and council members may decline.
Do we want to just
Yeah, that like the on an attendance standard to be set by council by ordinance, that answers all the questions about like. You coming late,
Yeah. And that could be handled because the council rules could be adopted by ordinance or by resolution, really.
I like David's version better, definitely reads a little bit easier, and I feel like all the same ideas are. Still there, yeah. But maybe breaking it out and having like a. Sentence about the council members' compensation and then a sentence about the mayor's compensation, and then. The mayor and council members may decline compensation in whole or in part.
This is the text I got from Rod last week after the meeting was already over. He says, my only comment on the stipend issue is that it should take effect next year. My reasoning is that A, the sooner this goes forward, the better chances of people willingness to volunteer, and B, if we wait until seats rotate, depending on wording, it could be many years before implementation. That was his take on this.
Not that in there, elected at or after the November 2025, that's next year,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because we have an election this year in November. But they don't take office until next year in 2025. For 3, and then the next 3 go up in 2026 to take office in 2027.
So David,
Yeah.
you say that we shouldn't base the mayor's compensation off of attendance. What should it be based off of, or should it just be like a flat compensation, yeah, per term or?
Well, let's rethink that because if we did base it off of attendance, we would pay the mayor more with the expectation that the mayor is going to do more. But what if the mayor just showed up and then didn't do coffee with the mayor, didn't show up at the ribbon cuttings, didn't do groups or anything like that? Well, I mean, how would we feel about that?
I think that sounds unfair. I mean, you would hope that a mayor would go above and beyond. Even if it falls outside the attendance thing, but.
So what if you just compensate the mayor a little bit more per meeting? And extra stuff just comes with that position.
But then it's like, again, if he's already getting his compensation at the meetings, why what incentive to do the coffee with the mayor. I mean, again, you would think somebody who's going out and holding the position would be in the mindset of doing these things and going above and beyond, but we're thinking about the future.
So then are you giving the mayor more responsibilities than what's already laid out in the charter? And adding those expectations of some sort of public coffee with the mayor, something like that.
Yeah.
Not that I'd want to do that.
So
Yeah.
what's the mayor is the political head of the city and has to sign all the ordinances and resolutions and documents.
Yeah, those are the.
That's, are there other things the mayor does in our charter? Those are the two that I had pulled up.
That are like mandated.
Yeah, the difference between the responsibilities for that position. And then the things like that Rod does, for example, like those are each mayor's gonna have their own style, their choices, things that it's gonna look different.
Yeah, we don't want to force a previous mayor's setup on the next mayor either, because they may not be as successful as Rod is.
Y'all have different ways of doing.
The only other
It's a
thing,
conundrum.
other mandated would be mayor recommends the appointment of individuals to city commissions and committees. That's happy.
Well, we're paying the mayor by month.
That's fine. And attendance is, and so it wouldn't be based off of the meeting schedule, but just every month getting a
For
stipend.
the mayor.
And of course, it would require him to be present and attend all the meetings.
Well, that's required in you.
Yeah, exactly, but I'm just, yeah, speaking of like the compensation and then.
Right.
Would that be difficult though, to have like essentially two different like paid schedule? I don't know. No,
Good idea.
what do you think, David? Did you hear that?
I did, and I'm glad we're having the meeting to talk about it because when I wrote my version, it was pretty clear in my mind. But it's not clear at all.
Welcome to my world.
Well, I think we should keep it based on compensation because it's an articulable standard on attendance because it's a clear standard. You're not going to get into whether someone's performing their duties as well as you might like them to. It's just that you show up. And then all the committee assignments and extras we promulgate in the council rules. I don't know if I want to tie compensation to the extras. And I think we could just be good with the mayor gets paid more because the mayor signs documents and
More responsibility.
be good with it like that. And we can hope that our mayor is as good as Mayor Cross and does everything above and beyond.
We could hope. And be a huge loss when he decides not to be mayor no more.
So is there consensus that the mayor should be paid per month versus the councilors paid per meeting?
No, I think we just talked
No,
about
I think
him
we're
per
gonna
meeting.
stick to everybody being paid per meeting.
He's gonna get paid more
Okay,
because he has more responsibilities, but he's gonna get paid per meeting for showing up, which he always shows up anyways, but again, we're talking about in the future.
okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure because Eric brought that up.
yeah.
Yeah, we were going back and forth.
I mean, if we could chain Rod to the city, we would. I'm sure. Let's go to Hawaii for.
There's too many bugs out there. Getting back to, looking at David's wording, just go ahead and eliminate. Paid the compensation a blank each month and then put per meeting or,
For city
Business
council,
meeting.
Business meeting.
Ooh,
per
city council meetings
attended.
or, yeah, we got to clean that up. It can't just say per meeting. It has to be a council meeting.
Yeah, that's what, I think you're on the phone.
I have per city council business meeting. But like Doug brought up, if there's two meetings, like an executive session and then a city council meeting, in one night, is it per meeting?
Per night.
Or is it per night?
Per night.
Which I need to figure out how to add that language in.
Yeah, because you don't want to say per meeting per se, because say we have all these extra meetings. we don't want to pay everybody per meeting.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna break the city.
Yeah.
And frankly, our voters are not gonna want that.
Yeah, having a 15-minute executive session doesn't justify another stipend.
No.
So-
No, because
Okay.
our executive sessions are literally only a few minutes of us talking.
I can draft some
Are we-
language and work with David and Mike offline. And Doug.
Well,
And
well,
then-
let me ask Amanda, are we creating more of an administrative burden counting 7 people's meeting attendance? And whether they came versus just paying them monthly and being good with it?
It is more work, but.
We keep attendance.
I keep attendance anyway, so it's really minimal.
Okay,
I- I would-
I'm thinking
yeah.
about, some counselors have city email that they don't check with regular
Yeah.
frequency, then following up with phone calls. And
Yeah.
are we really saving that much money? Than just saying, let's pay them monthly and compensation will be based on attendance standard as set by council. So,
But
the
I
council
would
rules,
prefer to count the meetings they attend and pay per rather than have an amount and then have to deduct. That makes sense, just accounting wise.
okay,
If I had something to just show, I don't know.
Because if you're paying them $300 a month. And a counselor only shows up one time a month. They're really not doing their due diligence in that position.
well, that's why the attendance standard would be set by the council. Probably in the council rules, they could do it.
Yeah.
It's really 6 of one, half a dozen of another if you do the like deducting versus adding and just.
Yeah.
for
Okay,
me, I'd rather
I
not
just-
back out of a number. I'd rather just compensate.
I'm just thinking that the more specific we
Yeah, I
get in the
agree.
charter, the more we're tying future people that have to make this work. And so if we can keep this as general as possible, we can get specific policy issues into a policy level document like the council rules.
And I
And not have to
believe,
reopen our charter.
Yeah.
and I believe somewhere in the charter, off the top of my head, I can't remember which paragraph it is, but that does talk about, absenteeism. And I remember we already had that discussion, so when we come across it, we can dive into it a little bit more.
Well, I got the word absent showing up once on a control F search and it's in 3.8 under quorum. And it can only be, to compel attendance of absent members. So would we use different terminology?
It's like 75% or 50% or something like that. Try 50%.
Okay, let's see what happens. 50%, nothing. And no, I'm not finding anything like that. I'm searching the Word document that you just emailed to me. Am I in the right one?
Yeah.
It's our most recent draft.
I remember talking about that because we were saying like how many meetings. And they miss
How about
or whatever.
attendance? Okay, there's one. Yeah, quorum, under 3.8, in the event of an absence, a smaller number may meet to compel attendance of absent members. And then under city manager has to attend all council meetings unless excused by the mayor or council. I'm not seeing it.
I don't see it either. I just went through all of our city council stuff and the closest is the meetings about one time a month.
Okay, let me, give it back at one of the previous.
Yeah.
I do remember talking.
Yeah. Let me look back at one of our previous ones.
Is it okay for using microwave?
No. Take the plastic top off.
Oh, yeah, obvious. Delicious microplastics.
Right?
Let me look for that, when the committee continues talking about
We
compensation.
talked about getting around 9.8. So it's just under 9.8. Yeah, on this version right here that you just handed out,
Oh, is it?
9.8.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, absent from the cities for 30 days And then failure to qualify for office within 10 days.
That's the only thing, and then there are all the reasons that they could be.
That's fine. It was up very high.
Good, aye. Good, aye.
But nothing about 50% for them.
I'm just gonna.
That's $20 for that electricity. Inflation is really high. So I guess while you guys are looking, you could always get into parameters of pay and comfortability for the city and stuff like that. A fun part.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what numbers we're kind of working with here. And then you just looked into the 2 tiers instead of the 3, correct?
Yeah, if we did $100 per meeting, that's $300 a month. And it, you know, depending per counselor. If we had 5 paid at that rate, that's $3,600 a year each, so that's 18,000 to the city. Just throwing out some round numbers, we can go up or
6.
down.
We have 6 counselors.
Well, I was thinking if the council president was at
Oh,
a higher
okay.
level, for example, just an example, if council president and mayor were paid higher. Or maybe, you know, we only do that if that person steps into the mayor's role, so that could go either way, but what if we paid them like 150 per meeting instead of the 100? That's 5,400 a year. For 2 people, that would be 10,800. For one, it would be 54. I mean, we could play with any numbers, but.
So are those feasible numbers for the city?
Yes,
So it's not gonna break the bank or nothing.
that would be around 30,000 a year for the city.
And that's,
A little.
Just from a citizen standpoint, not staff member, I would prefer 50 because of the fact that there's often times where there's times where council schedules a new meeting or a town hall or different things like that. And so those,
are you talking about setting that amount aside for the year?
no, I'm talking about $50 per meeting.
For meetings.
Oh, I thought she meant 50,000 because she
Yeah.
said 30,000. I was like, oh.
No, $50 per meeting instead of 100 because of the fact that there's oftentimes that the council comes up with extra executive sessions or, you know, things like that. And so, because then if you go with 100 and they're already at 300, that's gonna spike that number even more.
I agree. I think 100 sounds pretty lucrative for.
It could potentially be, but again, it comes down to which meetings are we paying them for, all of that.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, there's always 3, right? City council meetings in a month.
Not always.
No.
Like next month, this month we only have 2
Yeah.
because we don't have a meeting tomorrow because we're closed. And then next month we canceled the 3rd of July as well because of the proximity to 4th of July.
And you-
So there's some, and Christmas or December, we cancel the meeting close to Christmas, Thanksgiving, we cancel
But
that.
then you don't add that meeting in another place.
No.
So
Most just 3.
At most 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they add, I mean, it's all the other meetings are all usually, in my experience, since I've been on council, has always just been added to the day that we already have. Unless we have like a URA and then cancel the city council meeting.
But if we're paying them per meeting day, then, you know, just the one meeting day, instead of paying them for, you know, executive.
Yeah, we don't want to pay them for each meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And we have to plan it too, to where the language doesn't just say per meeting day, because if you're accustomed to the first, third and fourth Wednesday, because something's canceled, doesn't mean they get paid for that day.
No,
So
but
we
the
can-
intent is like the day that they're attending a meeting, however you
We
say
should define the
that.
meetings. I mean, we already have meetings defined in our local code and in the statute. We could say regular meetings, special meetings, emergency meetings, and work sessions.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to add URA and budget committee, we could do it.
Well, URA is a different committee. We'd have to do that through the URA, not city
It's
council
a different organization.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
organization.
Same with budget. Yeah, we wouldn't wanna lump them all in, right?
Well, yeah, take the URA out of there. Yeah, that's right, because your URA is a different agency. You've been paneled.
Yep.
It's, yeah, okay. But the city
And-
council still has to be there, so they're all gonna be at a meeting. So
Right,
it's
we
not-
are, when we go to the URA meetings, we're not city council, we're board or directors.
Right,
And most often we hold those meetings on council
Yeah,
meeting nights.
the same
It's
day.
Only on occasion when there's a
right,
separate URA
yeah.
so,
meeting.
so yeah, get the URA out of there. But, you know, we have all the other meetings defined. And that would exclude, like, if someone goes to a CWAC meeting or coastal development meeting, that's not a meeting, that's not a council meeting for which you get paid for.
So then do we want to add town halls to that then?
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, Because it's still a business meeting and you're providing information to the public. You're just not taking any formal action typically.
No, I would keep town halls out of it. And I would do it for policy reasons, because town halls generally are a chance for council members to come and show up and do different. They're not always well attended, or,
Okay.
you know, if we pay people
too
to go
lucky.
there, I don't think you get as a genuine an experience.
I think our last town hall,
Business meeting.
I like how David mentioned policy, so I like that.
Just have to work.
And I don't recall town halls really getting a lot of business done. They're listening sessions.
no, the last one we had was at the fire department, and I think only a couple of us council members were there. There's a lot of people there,
Yeah.
but, and it was a good town hall, but there was only a couple of council members and the mayor there.
I remember that, yeah.
Had to do with the homeless encampment and stuff.
You and Jackie,
And Stu, it was our first,
Sue, yeah.
Tracy was there.
Was she?
I thought she was.
no,
Wow.
that was our first meeting. We got introduced there to you guys, as our new council, being new on council then. But I think
Yeah, Tracy was there, Kim was there, Stu was there, Jackie was there, Frank was there,
Oh,
Rod was there.
Good, we're all there. Maybe
I just pulled up the photos.
Well, my thought with the 100 was if we have 2 or 3 meetings a month, then the counselors are receiving $200 to $300 compensation a month. If it's 50, then they could just be getting 50 to 100.
Trying to entice people
Yeah, it's just,
here.
Yeah.
everyone's comfortable.
Guys, I'm kind of caught in a conundrum because I think, for me, 50 would be enough. But for people that have got to pay the daycare and stuff like that, that may not quite be enough because unfortunately daycare is not that cheap.
You could also look at it though, that this is going from nothing to something, and that's obviously, and then it can also, I mean, the compensation amount can be reevaluated if it's determined that it isn't working the way that it should.
But then we have to go back to the chart.
Yep, gotta go back and redo the charter again.
So why don't we word the charter such that it's, somebody else comes up with the numbers.
Well,
What do you
that's the county rule by statute. You have a compensation committee, and there's no likewise rule that applies to cities. And the advice that Mike and I got too is that we really can't sanitize this process by appointing a committee to set compensation, that we really should have compensation set, turned over to the voters.
Correct.
Wait, is Mike here today? I don't see Mike or hear Mike.
No, he's playing with Mickey Mouse in California.
I can't picture it. I just picturing him like on a Ferris wheel, like I can't do it.
I just had the vision of Mike wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Why? We're like on it, it's a small world after all, I just, doesn't work, man. I don't know.
Mike's gonna have to go back and watch this meeting.
He didn't zoom in from Florida. That surprises me.
Oh, California,
He's in
California?
land, not world.
Disneyland.
I'm happy that I don't know this.
So is there any more discussion on compensation?
Well, we need to figure out what we're deciding on as far as, monetary value.
I don't know, I feel like I could go, I can see the argument for both levels, 50 and 100, but. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards the lower, towards 50, you know,
Can always raise it. Even if
yeah, and
we have to
yeah,
go
it
back
is, even if
through.
you have to go back to the charter and do all the blah, 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 it's still, it can always be raised, but I feel like lowering it would be. more difficult as opposed
I
to.
could. From the council I came from, smaller city, quarterly they get quarterly stipends. And I believe it was $375 a quarter for the mayor and $250 for council, so that could give you that's for 3 months a pop, so. If you divide that out, that's more than 50 cents a month, or whatever, or you were talking 50 cents a meeting.
Yeah, so if there were 3 meetings, it'd be
When they did
150.
change it, they did change it to meeting and they did $25 a meeting. But then they got paid for all meetings, like executive sessions, special meetings.
Yeah, that's running-
They had 2 in one night, they got $25 each meeting.
That's $27.78 a meeting, basically.
What does the port make? I know they get paid for meetings. Does anybody know?
No.
Okay.
clue.
Well, I can also see, let's just go into the future. All new counselors and stuff, and let's just start scheduling more meetings, so we get more compensation. You know what I mean?
Well,
If
the
you could
process-
start, instead of having the same meetings in one night, you're gonna be like, well, we'll do this executive planning meeting on this night, and then we'll do another meeting on next week. So then instead of having 3 meetings, you're now having like 5 meetings in a month. And so I think there's potential for that as well. And I think it's important to note that, because if they can just schedule a meeting for more compensation, you know what I mean?
You'd have to have a forum of the council to
Mhm.
agree to that. So I don't know I don't know if I could foresee 4 people or
I
5.
was devil's advocate, I'm just thinking of like,
Yeah,
At 50 a week for 3 weeks a month is only 1,800 per counselor. Times 6, it's only 10,800 per counselor, or for the counselors a year. And that's really a decent number. I don't think,
especially from nothing.
if I'm gonna argue devil's advocate, I think if we put this to the voters would be more likely to approve the lower number than the higher number. And then if it does work out to where, we should probably raise it later on, we can always readdress this and go back to the voters on another vote. But I mean, if I had to decide, I would probably pick the lower just to get the voters, because
Make everybody
if
happy.
we put a high number, right? They could say no to that and it's gonna fail our entire charter. Not just the pay, but they'll fail our entire charter. Because they don't just vote on each individual change, they vote on the whole thing. So if we put it too high, then we're gonna lose our entire charter.
I think the consensus is 50. Because the other argument too is like the whole childcare thing. Well, realistically, how long are the meetings,
They can go between an hour to, I've heard 6, but those are rare.
But that's why those are rare. And so realistically, if you're paying the teenager down the street to watch your kids, like $50, that's,
But you also have to take into account that not everybody's a single parent.
no, 100%.
They've got a husband at home or a wife.
That's why we're just going to that, because that's one of the big arguments of people not volunteering for these positions, because it's like, well, I got kids at home and whatever, but, so yeah, I'm for $50.
the very latest, I'd say, in the last year that the council has had a meeting is probably 9 or 9:30.
Yeah.
So.
It's really not been bad at all. I think Rod had talked about one time they were here till like 11 o'clock, but that was a while ago.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, if I had to pick, I would go with the 50 for now, and then if it need be, we can always revisit it later.
it's fine.
Glad to hear that. When I was hearing 1,800 a month, I was. we can afford that.
And so this is for counselors, right?
Yeah, we need to know. Talk about the
To
mayor.
discuss the mayor, if it's gonna be like 60 or 75. I don't think it should be too much of a disparity.
That should reflect his additional responsibility.
It should, yeah. So Doug, did the mayor, you said you from that other city that you were part of the council,
Union.
produce those numbers? Did you know about the mayor's compensation at all?
So all of them, were getting, $25 a meeting is what we had gone to, and then they had what they would call extra duties too, and they got paid extra duties as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's really not the same type of pay.
It was a little different, and, the way it generally worked out was, we were at about that, for the 7 of them. We were at about $12,000 to $15,000 a year is what we were spending on our council for attending. It is how we budgeted it, so I think if you're in that realm of that 15,000 or less, you're gonna be in a good number that can work. And help with offsetting childcare or other just time away from home and those types of things.
So my question is that 12-15, does that include the mayor as well, when you're
Yes.
saying for the counselors? Okay, that was, so if we do $50, let's say there's 3 meetings a month, what does that bring us up to?
It was 10,000 and change for the 6 counselors, and if we did 75 for the mayor per meeting for a full year, that's only $2,700.
So we're outside, a little bit outside that.
That's right around $12,000 combined.
Sorry, I'm not a numbers person.
It's right around 12,000 combined if we were to do 50 per counselor and 75 per mayor, or for the mayor per meeting. And that's 3, I'm counting all 3 meetings. That's not for when we do actually reduce the meetings. At 3 meetings at
So I think
75.
it's good to do a target of 3 meetings a month, because if you're under that, that's good, you know, but you wanna budget for the max.
Right.
You know,
That's why we gotta have her here, because she's got a budget this next year.
so,
Like I said, we tried to set a cap of about 15,000 and
Right.
we worked.
And I don't think we ought to do the separate thing, pay like what you're talking about for the mayor, because Rod Cross does so much more now. Our next mayor could be a bump on the log and not do.
exactly.
Or they can be very active in the community, but they
Even
just
more,
might not go to all these other.
He goes to a lot of state things though, he's reimbursed through the League of
Yeah.
Oregon Cities and.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going on, he's still getting a reimbursement, he's not getting paid, but he's getting
Reimbursement, yeah. To me, I mean, I would go with the 75 for the mayor just because of the different stuff he does, and then the 50 for the counselors just to start. That's really not a huge chunk of money at all.
That's very good.
And again, just being the mayor, again, you are the political like face of the city. And yeah, I think that is,
Overall total is 13,500. For 3 meetings per counselor and 3 meetings for the mayor.
David, do you have any thoughts on this?
How much?
13,500.
At the last meeting, I came in much, much higher, so I'll just sit out the dollar value conversation. Thanks.
It was.
Even if we think y'all deserve a lot more, Frank's right, you know, when it comes to the voters.
They're not gonna want it.
I mean, it's, if you're not familiar with the council and the mayor and what they do, it could just be like, you know, we're just paying them to
Yeah.
sit there and do, you know? And so I think it is better to be a bit more conservative with the compensation, as opposed to more what we think would be appropriate, because we are more familiar with y'all's duties and everything that y'all go through.
I think we're gonna find that a lot of people are gonna be blown away that city council and the mayor do not get paid.
I think there's gonna be, it's gonna be a divide. There's either gonna be people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys aren't getting paid. You deserve to be paid. Or they're gonna be like, no.
Yep.
You don't deserve to be paid at all. I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of gray area. But that's just my opinion. So,
I think we keep it low
right,
and then we can revisit later on, especially from a financial standpoint. Even if they were to, if we put it high and the voters approved it, it's still gonna put us in a pinch financially. So at least this way, if we start off low and we find out it's not working, we can prepare it for the next budget year and go up higher later on. And at least this way, if we go low and they approve it, at least we've got the whole charter through. And then if they want to raise the money later, we only have to worry about them approving the financial raise.
we've all,
the whole charge.
Yeah, we talked about it too, and that we wanted it to kind of be like, if you are raising compensation, it shouldn't be a super easy process, or it should, you know what I mean? It's easy process, but it's like, it should take a couple of hoops to jump through, which I think is good. It's kind of almost like a safeguard on that, but I'm for $50 for counselors, 75 for the mayor. And then, if everybody's in agreement to that, then it's the discussion of the council president.
For that, I would say that we just put language in there that he gets paid the same as regular city council members unless there's a time they gotta step into mayor, and only then do they get that extra bump in pay when they step up to the mayor. That would be my suggestion, because that way it makes it clear and concise as to when they're gonna get that extra pay, only when they run a whole meeting as mayor. Because Kim has only done 15 minutes here or there until Rob's gotten in, and to me, that's not running a meeting. That's just taking attendance, pledge of allegiance, getting it started. You
And that
gotta-
can be all outlined in the language that was put forth with the attendance standards and everything like that, so. What do you think, Eric? Yeah. What about you, Ann? You're in agreement with that, too? Does that sound, is that correct in me saying with the whole attendance standards and stuff, being able to determine when the council president would receive the higher compensation? Would that be correct, David?
Can you repeat the sentence? What did you say?
Okay, so basically, we're saying that the council president would only receive higher compensation if they had to perform the duties of an absent mayor from one of these meetings. And that realistically, in the attendance standards that you had, the language you used in your draft language, they would be able to determine, okay, like if the council president has to open the meeting, but then the mayor shows up right after that, is that running the meeting? But having your language kind of covers that, being able to set those standards.
It kind of gets into the weeds again.
It is, I know, sorry, I'm just stuck in the
That's,
weeds.
that's okay. I mean, I would say that, in the language I wrote, the mayor shall be compensated, shall be paid compensation of whatever dollars, each meeting is defined. And the council president, how would I write that? The mayor or the council president, when acting as the mayor, shall be paid compensation of.
I
don't
like
know.
that.
Well, it's kind of like what we just redid in city council for the muni judge. We just approved the pro tem judge to be paid the same as the muni judge gets, which the council president would just be the mayor pro tem while the mayor's gone. So essentially it'd be the same thing, just getting the mayor's pay for that one time, just like the muni judge gets that one time. So it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah. I agree. So we'll have to wordsmith a little bit of this. I'm reading this Oregon government ethics opinion it's called Stokes. Again, is there any idea, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Is there any movement on this committee to allow the council to vote to increase the salary of future councils?
I think that should still go to the voters.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't think the council should have the ability to give themselves a raise. I think it should go to the voters because the voters are the ones gonna be paying the salary, so to speak, if it comes off all the
Just to be
taxes and
clear,
whatnot.
the council couldn't give themselves a raise. The council could give their future council a raise.
But what if you like had a buddy that you knew was gonna be running for council next
They
year?
get voted, in.
So-
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, that's still.
They get voted in by the public, so. Ooh, another conundrum.
Do you recommend that the counselors be able
From a
to?
legal standpoint,
Yeah.
Well, I'd run it past Mike Adams. It passes the Stokes test. It's just a matter of whether it passed the voters. And how we can word this in here, because otherwise we're frozen at 50 and 75 for our perceived or potential 10-year run. And if that's okay, that's gonna have to be okay.
Well, if the council can, put it, or if we can put it in some words to where the council could put it for the voters again.
You can always do an amendment, but at any time. It has to go before the vote.
Right. And it'll be easier, I think, to make an amendment and raise the pay later than raise the pay now.
I see what you're saying. So if 2 or 3 years down the road, we could just bring a single issue charter
Mhm.
amendment and not the whole charter.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
that
good
way
with
if we
that.
keep it low now, then we can pass everything and. Because of course, we've been working all these weeks to redo our entire charter. It would be really shitty to put too much money out there and have them say, you know what, no, I don't want you guys to get paid, but this whole charter is gonna fail anyways. So,
So
That's
to
good.
raise it with that in mind and take it to a vote, how much would that cost the city to?
If we put it in the general, it doesn't cost us anything, just advertising and stuff.
Okay.
It only costs, yeah, if we would just have to, the process is we take a resolution to the council. And then we would have, there's an appeal process, so we would have to publicize it in the newspaper for like a week or so. So it would just be that publication cost essentially.
Okay.
and then we just put it to the voters, later on, the voters can do it. To raise the,
So it's not just a one item thing that we have to, the ballots out and,
yeah, no, we would only have to work on that. We wouldn't have to worry about the whole charter.
okay.
Cause yeah, it's also since we're spelling out the amount in the charter, if the counselors did raise it, wouldn't you have to amend the charter
Yep.
anyways?
That's when it would go to the voters. If we did the resolution to send it off to the
Okay,
voters.
okay, I'm
No
sorry.
matter what we do, we as council cannot
Give yourself.
raise it
a-
ourselves. It has to go to the voters because it's a city charter.
Okay.
But so it, yeah,
I get it now, okay. Again, I'm stuck in the
weeds,
fine details.
I'll throw you a rope here. Roxanne.
I just, yeah. It's gotta make things difficult.
You're learning the process.
Yeah.
We all are.
Oh, yeah. So do we have to like make like a motion or something, or is it just like?
For this?
Yeah.
No, this is
for the
all-
amount and everything, so we're sticking with 50 and 75,
I think that's a good starting point.
I'm okay with the consensus.
okay.
Yeah, this is all informal.
Just since it was like a dollar amount, I didn't know if it was like different, but, okay,
Well, from your financial standpoint, Amanda, is that, I mean,
feasible.
how do you feel on the 50-75, the 10,800, 2,700, 13,500 is total?
Yeah, that's very doable.
Okay. Wouldn't put the city in a pinch or struggling.
That's very manageable.
Cool. That's good to hear.
Right, yeah, that's really good to hear.
You liking those numbers better than what you thought you were gonna come into? So now, if
So we
we,
still gotta work on the language on that compensation, but ultimately, we're moving on past the compensation, correct?
yes.
Yeah, we can work on it offline in the background and then bring
Just
it.
getting all the specifics that we.
We have another meeting, right? Scheduled
If I'm right.
Yes.
27th
Yeah,
Yes.
next week.
at 10:30.
Is that the long one or?
It's an hour and a half, the same as normal.
I put in an hour and a half, but yeah, let's plan for 2 just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
10:30 to noon is what I have.
Yeah, but it may go longer because
Yeah.
we're gonna go over the whole charter again, because we're about 10 minutes out of our meeting now.
Yep.
But yeah, I like that. I'm glad we got that done. I was a little concerned about the amounts.
What else is there to talk about then, as far as new business or other charter sections?
I don't think anything, if we want to just start from the very beginning next week and just start at number 1 and go all the way through it and make sure everything's kosher.
I thought we did part of it last time.
Oh, we may have.
It did. It was my first sweep at kind of combining everything. So
Have you gone through and edited the bits that we've gone over?
I have tried to, so I still need to do.
Oh, yeah.
So they can do.
But I think for the most part, the stuff that we did go through in the beginning from last week, I think I got all of those.
We stopped at 3.10 last week and we were gonna start at 4.1. Chapter 4.
Which we do have some time. I don't know. We do have a few minutes. I don't know.
Do we want to go over those positions? That position part that you were talking about?
Oh, we can. Yeah, let me.
Counselor's position, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, talking about.
I think that I saw that on position or number 3.2, chapter 3, city council form of government.
And this is just to make sure we're all on the same page, this is saying that we're going to assign like council seat
Position 1,
numbers. Yeah,
position 2,
okay,
position
that's
3, 4,
okay.
5, and 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so page 3.
Now, was there an email that you were gonna bring up about that?
Well, the email, all it was just, I was able to talk to our county clerk and the state, elections office. They didn't have anything administratively for us that we need to do to just turn those over. From at-large to position numbers, so there's, other than us saying, here, we're gonna make these numbers now, that's all we have to do.
Does it have to go to the voters?
Mm-mm.
No, so we can just automatically assign those? That doesn't have to change in the charter?
Correct. So I will, I do have it in here in the charter. Yeah, we do have to have it in the charter at least, because we have to take out the at-large.
Okay.
So on 3.2, I removed on the first sentence, elected from the city at large. And then I added, city councilors serving 4-year terms shall be assigned position numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The mayor position shall not be assigned a position number. And then on 3.3 down below, I omitted a portion of one of the sentences.
I like that, putting the odd positions to be elected on odd years biennially.
Finally.
So it's on 3.3, it's position numbers 1, 3, and 5. Shall be elected on odd years.
Makes it easier to remember.
Yeah, I like that.
I think Doug had mentioned that in one of our previous meetings, so.
I don't know, for me, that makes sense.
So what, do the position numbers correspond to neighborhoods or sections of the city?
No,
No.
no wards or districts, no.
They're all
Okay.
at large.
Yeah, we couldn't do that, otherwise we'd be kind of screwed with needing people, because say Ward 1 is going up, but they're not gonna redo their application to run, and nobody in Ward 1 wants to run, then we're gonna end up with an empty seat again.
Right.
This way, at least people can run against a number if they don't like whoever is in that seat.
It just makes it a little bit easier for when we're doing the elections, because instead of being like 3, it's position 1, 3, 5, or.
Yeah. Instead, it's the top 3 people with the top 3 votes get in right now.
So they can file a majority seat against a specific person.
That's right. If it's like, I really don't want to see Frank back on the council, instead of he's running for seat 3.
Yep.
And I would then
Challenge.
run for seat 3, even if there's no one running for seat 1, you
Yep.
know,
Okay.
so.
All right.
And then we can technically appoint somebody, if there's an open seat, we can appoint somebody to
If
that
there's an
seat.
open seat, Frank ends up winning seat 3, but the most viable candidate for seat 1 is me. Then it's like, even though I ran for seat 3, I could still be appointed to seat 1.
Yes, just because you lost an election doesn't mean we
And
can't.
then just have drama. But no, I think it's a more of an organizational thing. I think that's.
I like the odd numbers for odd year, even numbers for even years, because
It's really.
it makes it easy. You know, seat 2, 4, and 6 is gonna be coming up on 2024, and you know 1, 3, 5 is coming up on 2027. It makes it easy that way.
So yeah, there's,
That's wrong count there, but.
so,
So every election is electing for an odd year
Oh.
because of the way we're staggered. They're all, because it's, the next one is 2 years, so it's always
It's
gonna
always
be,
2
you're always filling in.
Electing on 2024, but filling 2027,
It's stated in
25.
there. It's
Yeah.
just, we're just gonna elect for 1, 3, 5.
This year's odd, this year's even.
And then next year, yeah, we'll just do Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
But I mean, I still like the way it's broken out and,
Yeah,
you
we'll
know,
just have to
135,
reword that.
246.
We're gonna have to reword.
Okay.
Thank you for catching that. So aside from the discalculation,
I think it's worded well.
I
okay,
think it's a good idea to add position numbers and just because. I
Should we-
do.
Should we have a statement in there that all positions are at large?
But they're not at large if they're
They're won't be
positions.
at large.
Well, they are.
But it's saying that they're not coordinating to like a ward or a district.
So they're all at large positions.
Okay, so just keep the at large in there on 3.2. And then my one other question, and this probably goes to David, do I need to, under elections, not under this section, but under elections, do I need to add something that says, when an individual is running, that they need to state what position they're running for?
Well, if we have positions, they'll have to state a position they're running for.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I'm kind of a dummy here. If we don't have wards, why do we have positions? I mean, if everyone's at large, what good does the positions do?
Because this allows somebody to go for a certain position, like what she was just saying, say I'm on city council and Lisa doesn't like me on city council and wants to run directly against me, she can run directly against me instead of having 4 people run and only taking the top 3 votes. This allows you to run for specific seats.
Yeah, I feel like I should know this, but I don't see what that gets us.
I see it
Uh,
more as just like an organizational thing as well. It's just like easier to just kind of, and it also just really reminds people there's 6 counselors, there's 6 positions. You know,
that makes sense.
that's kind of, I'm looking at it at like that layman level right there. And then it's also, it's. I don't know, I like
So
labels.
could someone run for positions 3 and 6?
No, you
No.
Yes,
No, you
choose
can only
the
run-
position you run.
Yeah,
Single positions.
you can only, by state law, you can only run for one office at a time.
Uh-huh.
So as it currently is, if there's 3 positions available and
4 people run.
yeah, 4
top
people
3.
run, the top 3 largest votes get seats wherever they set up.
And if all 3 of those same people ran for one of the positions, then
Only
we have
one
only
will get
one
it.
and we end up with a vacancy.
Yep,
Correct.
And then we could appoint from the other ones that lost the election.
Or
All right.
another
I mean,
qualifier.
as long as we all understand what's happening here, I'm okay with that.
I think, David, what it's gonna help, and this is something that I've seen in towns that we've done this type of system, is the threat of recall votes kind of goes down with this because people can challenge an individual rather than trying to go in and just recall everybody out or whatever. They can actually just challenge one person at another election, if they feel that one person is not being good or, and it's a way to not be so
Right.
disruptive in a challenge or a recall vote.
All right. Sounds good to me.
I guess another question too, let's say I wanted to throw my hat into the ring. Would I be able to come up and say, I want to run for city councilor? Is there currently a position that is nobody's running for? Would I be able to get that?
You have to file, when you file, you would choose your position.
But would I be able to find out ahead of time if somebody was already?
When
Yeah, I
you
can
come
tell
in
you.
to drop off your
Yeah,
application.
so that's what I would be like, cause I was like, well, I really like all the people who are running for 3 and 5. Is nobody running for 1? Okay, throw my hat in the ring for that one. So, okay.
it's information. I
You
would,
can,
there's
you
a
can
reason.
ask who's running for what, and you can choose to run against certain people, or you can say, oh, nobody's running for one, I'll run there.
Okay, that was
But
my
you do
question.
have to choose when you file, so
Yeah.
people will wait until the very last day to find out, that happens.
So how do we go about this position? Do we need to bring it before council or do we need to set it now? Like, who's gonna be the odds, who's gonna be the evens? Do we want to
I
set the?
think when Mike and I discussed this, it was gonna be the people that are going, if this goes in,
Uh-huh.
the people that are going in for election right now.
Will be the odds?
Will be the 135.
Okay, so that would be
No.
Tracy's.
It wouldn't affect this because this is not, this,
Oh, no, it would be
no, it
after.
would be in the next,
So it'd be the next
would be-
people.
yeah.
That would
the
be
next
me
terms.
and Jackie Burns and Kim, no, Kim.
Yeah, sorry.
Stu is up this year.
Yeah, Stu, Jackie, Kaufman,
Yeah, so it
Tracy
would
are
affect
this year.
not the ones running this year, it would affect the one
Next,
after.
which
This
is
wouldn't go
me,
into
Jackie.
effect till this passed.
Yeah,
Okay. That's how we would figure out. So the ones that are gonna be rerunning this one will technically be the evens
yep.
when it's all said and done. In the end.
And they just get assigned a number.
They will be assigned a number.
In the next election.
She likes to assign things like seating arrangements and everything, so it's probably gonna be her.
They're gonna be arranged then in order of position after this goes into effect.
Maybe.
Do this.
Do it backwards and change it the next one.
Changes our seats and confuses people all the time.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Anything else from your side, Lisa?
No, I think just go through this. Yeah, just go through this, read the comments. And I know in the first couple of pages, we already went through them last week, so I didn't have a chance to move some of that. So,
I would say just go and read over your entire packet.
Yeah, so everybody can read over this so that we can come in.
Highlight anything you have questions on or what have you, and then we can all talk about it next week.
yes.
Thanks for coming in, Amanda. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll turn it over to David. He's the man in charge.
Apparently so. It's 11:29, and unless we have closing comments or any new business, I will call this meeting of the Toledo Charter Review Committee closed. See you next week.